Hey. Hey. I'm looking chopped right now, and so we're gonna fix that. I'm gonna do some drag makeup. I am in my PJs, but we're gonna transform myself, okay? We're transforming, and also I am going to be oversharing for views. So let's get into it, I guess. I've got a mirror, I've got makeup, I've got everything I need. I've never done drag makeup before, so this is going to be a lovely little experience for all of us. I'm also just going to wing it. I don't really know the step-by-step. I can do a normal full beat, but I don't know the step-by-step for the drag. So I think we might just go with the flow. I think you meant to start with glue on the eyebrows. Oh, I do not know if there's a certain glue you're meant to use for your eyebrows, so we're just gonna go with this Baker Ross Jumbo Glue Stick. Wait, let me have a look at the ingredients. I'm not seeing any ingredients anywhere, but I assume it's safe. I think maybe you're just meant to go straight in with and brush it upwards, maybe? I guess we should start with talking about things that I enjoy before we get into the nitty-gritty of Maxi Mo. That looks about right. I really like Pokemon. I think Pokemon might be one of my most expensive and biggest hobbies at the minute. I think my collection is worth somewhere between like 800 and 1,000. This doesn't feel like I'm doing it right. I'll give you a little insight onto my binder. This is my binder. I painted it myself. It looks like a little Clefairy. That's a joke, actually. The first page is empty. It's actually filled with cards. Mimikyu is my favourite Pokemon, so that's a whole Mimikyu dedicated page. And then Clefairy is like my second favourite, so this is a Clefairy dedicated page. I feel like I'm not doing a good job at showing. But yeah, I freaking love Pokemon. In fact, take a look at this. Graded 10 Meowth SIR that I pulled myself, graded myself. Well, didn't grade it myself, but I sent it in myself. Yeah, you could call me a bit of a pro, maybe. Oh, it feels really weird. I feel like I can't move. I think maybe we should go in with layer 2 now. I also really love travelling. Obviously, I have a lot of travel videos posted. My last one was me in Japan. I have one from New York, one from Turkey posted. I think in total I've been to 14 countries in the past 8 years. Possibly more overall, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, I really love to travel. Gosh, it's starting to like peel. Do you think that might ruin the makeup? One of my favourite countries that I've been to, I'm so sorry for the squeaky chair. One of my favourite countries that I've been to is probably Thailand or Japan. Trying to get them to dry. I'm a big drinker. I have a bit of a drinking problem. My favourite weekend activity is to go to Spoons with my pals, and if you're not British, then Spoons is basically a really, really cheap bar, like pub. I'm going in with Elf Primer. Yeah, it's just like a very cheap pub. You can get drinks for much less than they would be elsewhere. Nothing too special about it other than it's cheap. I haven't done my makeup in a long time, so I actually don't know if I'm doing like the basics correct. I'm a big thrifter. That's something about me. In fact, the top that I'm wearing right now, I thrifted. A lot of my clothes are thrifted. I guess for the same reasons I like Spoons so much, it's just cheap. The clothes sometimes bang a lot better than you would find in a retail shop. Oh, it's already getting quite sticky. Okay, now I think we do foundation. I'm concerned that my eyebrows aren't gonna be fully covered because I forgot that they're looking quite dark right now because they've got the remnants of a pomade on them. For the foundation base, we're going to be going in with, it's not even a foundation, Halo Glow by e.l.f. I wouldn't take my advice on anything that I'm doing here. I guess we'll move on to things that I hate, as we've just done things I love. So I have some pretty weird fears. I'm a fructophobic, and for anyone who doesn't know what a fructophobic is, it's someone who is afraid of fruit. I have a terrible fear of fruit. Do you hear that? That's disgusting. I think a lot of it is to do with how the texture of fruit is just so like, oh, like no fruit has the exact same texture. Like, you know when you're eating a thing of grapes and one's really hard and the next is like really squishy and soft, that's like awful for me. It started out as just an avoidance because I found it gross to eat, but now it's like, if you eat fruit near me, I will walk away, like, and I won't touch you. Especially like oranges are probably my worst enemy. Oranges and apples. I think the smell of orange is like you shat in your hands and clapped. On the topic of terrifying fears, I have a fear of forks as well. This is not my shade. For as long as I can remember now, I have only eaten food with a spoon or chopsticks if I'm feeling a little crazy. It's just something about the prongs. I am a bit of a hypochondriac, and I think maybe some of it is to do with the fact the prongs probably can't be cleaned properly, but also like they're just kind of scary. It's like a tiny little pitchfork in your mouth. I do not fuck with that in the slightest. Yeah, I was right. The eyebrows are not getting covered up, so we're going to have to go over that with maybe like concealer. Maybe that will help. Oh my god. I don't know if you can see, but the glue is making the makeup like pill. Ew. Oh my god, I've just looked at myself in the light. I am so orange. Oh my god. I'm looking like an Oompa Loompa. Let's try and save this with concealer. I also have a terrible fear of water. I can swim. I'm not like someone who doesn't swim because I'm afraid. I do have an avoidance to public pools, and that is because I don't like people being near me while I'm in the water. In year 4, so when I was 8 or 9, we did swimming lessons with school where we would go to our local swimming baths and get taught how to swim. I could never not swim. I've always been able to swim to the point that I wouldn't drown, but I primarily breaststroke or butterfly or whatever it's called, because I don't understand the point in putting so much effort in something that is supposed to be leisurely. So I'm in the bottom set of this group because I can't swim like that. Picture this. We're learning how to backstroke. We're learning how to swim on our backs. Oh my god, that's awful. And because I can swim, I'm just in the bottom group because I refuse to swim properly. I'm doing absolutely fine. I'm there leisurely backstroking to my heart's desire. And then all of a sudden, I'm being plunged under the water and I'm drowning. I got drowned by a boy in my class. He held me under the water for a solid 10 seconds. So now I have a terrible fear of people being near or around me in the water because I'm always scared that someone's just gonna hold me under, you know? A bit of PTSD, if you will. The eyebrows are not looking good. Maybe because I haven't followed a tutorial, I've done it wrong, but I guess that idea is out the window. This says concealer. I think this is definitely my wrong shade. We're going to be using it as a contour. Does that look right? We'll have to find out. Well, that's all my likes and dislikes, I suppose. My loves and fears. I'm out of things to talk about. Maybe I should just tell a few stories. Talking of Japan, I speak Japanese at a conversational level. I feel like I pick up languages very well. And so I could hold a conversation in Japanese, I could order food, whatever. But when we were in Japan, I just didn't feel the need to use it due to the fact that we were in Tokyo, Osaka and Kyoto, which are obviously tourist areas. Everyone spoke English to us automatically, so I just didn't have a point in which I needed to use Japanese, except for the odd occasion where it was a non-English speaking restaurant and I had to say, like, can I get the English menu, you know? But there was this one day where it was so hot, so hot, like, you don't understand. No one has fully taken me seriously when I've spoken about how hot it is, but it's genuinely unbearable. Like, oh no, I've gotten makeup on Snoopy. We're walking around Harajuku and I'm desperate for a coffee. Like, we need to sit down and have drinks immediately. But we could not find Starbucks anywhere. This was my moment. This was my time to shine. And so I go up to this lovely couple and I say, "Sumimasen, Starbucks wa doko desu ka?" In this moment, I'm feeling very proud of myself. I'm like, my skills are being put to good use for the first time this whole trip. They proceeded to answer me in English, and they also looked up on their phones where Starbucks was, which is what I could have done at the end of the day, really. And that moment that felt so amazing of me, I was so proud of myself, swept under the rug, because I didn't need to speak Japanese, and also I didn't need to ask them. They were very nice about it though. Not only did they tell us where Starbucks was, but they walked us the entire way there. So then I felt bad about that they had to walk us there like we were children. They were very kind about it, and I'm very thankful for them. I was not a very popular kid at any stage of my life, really. In fact, some could even say that I was disliked. I know, it sounds shocking because I'm such a likeable guy, aren't I? But no, yeah, I was a bit of a freaking weirdo. I said it in my last video that a lot of my interests are very nerdy. I feel like that added to the fire a little bit when I was younger. I think people just didn't fuck with my vibe. Not everyone can love me, but it meant that it was a really weird transition from, because I used to be, I'd say, very chopped. You know, I was the ugly kid. When doing Kiss, Marry, Kill, I was the obvious pick for kill, you know, I was the joke choice. So as I got older and I glowed up a little bit, not to toot my own horn, I'd say I glowed up at least a little bit. It was a weird transition to go from people disliking me for no reason to people, like, just being kind to me, because I'd gotten so used to just, like, people automatically not being very nice. I mean, I have quite a few TikTok accounts, and one of them I use as a cosplay account. Not so much anymore because I'm too busy to be doing all of that, but I had gooners in my comments, and that was very weird to me. I guess that gooners are quite desperate, and so don't really care if you're chopped or not, but it still seemed very out of place for me being me. And I guess that's pretty sad to say. But on the topic of cosplay, I've cosplayed for quite a few years. I've been cosplaying since, I want to say, 2019 or 2018. And when I was 12 years old, my cosplays really started banging in that 2020 jump, you know? I made a new cosplay account when I was 12 at the end of 2020, as we were moving out of lockdown and back into the normal life. And I'd say 2020 and 2021 was the big boom of cosplay. What do people call it? The Great Shift. It was the Great Shift for cosplay. All the fandoms were booming and so on. And I hate to admit it, I was a Danganronpa cosplayer for the most part. I did quite a few cosplays from other fandoms, but Danganronpa was my go-to. This is not looking good. Oh dear. No, this is not eaten at all. I haven't got a blush brush. Frick. We're gonna have to go in with fingers. 2020, I make a cosplay account. I post a video in a Buki cosplay from Danganronpa, and it bangs, like, thousands of likes. And after that, my account was, like, very quickly growing, and this was, like, crazy to 12-year-old me. I was 13 at this point. I'm lying to your face. I was 13 when I made this account. I made the account in December of 2020, so I had just turned 13. And I'd say by about June, I was at 10k followers. I used to love cosplay so much. It was so fun to be able to become someone else. You can imagine what it looked like based off of what other Danganronpa cosplayers looked at the time. I did not put tampons in my wigs, I'll make that very clear. But you can imagine what the scene looked like. It was a lot of just very extreme makeup, especially with the lines, you know, the lines across your nose. And this is where it leads us to the cancellation of me. I was TikTok cancelled in around the summer of 2021. I'd only been around and about in the cosplay community properly for about 6 months. One day, I'm not sure, I think it was a white creator who came out and said that the lines on the nose were offensive to Indigenous Americans due to it, like, very similarly representing, like, their traditional kind of look and tattoos. And everyone was quite understanding about this. I'm sure that there was a few Indigenous creators who, like, came out and agreed with it and was like, yeah, maybe avoid doing this. So when that happened, I stopped doing that makeup. But then people started commenting on my old videos saying, you need to delete this. You've got the wrong makeup going on. You shouldn't be doing that makeup. You need to delete this. And I said to them, I've stopped doing this makeup now. I understand that it can be seen as offensive to the Indigenous community. And so I have learnt from my mistakes and I have stopped and will no longer be doing this sort of makeup. That was not good enough for the people that were commenting on my videos. And I actually had a few people wish death upon me for not deleting the videos. So eventually it got to the point where I just deleted my entire account. I was 13 and people were telling me to kill myself. For the eyebrows, I think I'm going to try and do a colour that's similar to my hair. Okay, that seems about right. So yeah, I just deleted the account and gave up because I was 13 and it was very scary having people tell you that they're gonna find where you live and they're gonna do bad things to you, and having people make videos about me saying do not follow this creator, they are racist, which I'm very certainly not. If that's what people thought, then that's what they thought. We can't judge 13-year-old me. I was 13 years old. That's how I got cancelled at 13 years old and had to delete my account, which I'm quite annoyed about, because if I had just deleted all my videos and rebranded the account, maybe I'd have a leg up in the social media world now. I used to be a party guy. I used to go to parties every single weekend, and then in the summer it would be every single day. This probably wasn't very healthy, but it was my life for the summer of 2023. I'm not quite sure what I want to do for the eye makeup. Should I do like a kind of Gyaru inspired look for the eye makeup maybe? When I was about 15 years old, I was a massive party goer, because as 15-year-olds we didn't really have much else to do. It was fun at the time, but looking back, a lot of the things I was up to I probably shouldn't have been as a 15-year-old. There was a lot of times where looking back it's like, damn, I was putting myself in a lot of danger there. So if you're currently 15 and love to party, just be careful. Also, maybe don't underage drink. One thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about things I love and hate is I have a vintage Furby collection that I love very much and is very, very dear to me. This all began when, probably around the same time that I created my cosplay account actually. I think it was around about that time that I discovered long Furbies, and it kind of stemmed from that. I was very obsessed with the concept of altering kids' toys to make them a little more weird and fun. So then it went from an obsession with altered Furbies to just general vintage Furbies. Gosh, this is awful. I'm not very good at this. I have 4 Furbies. I have 2 modern 2013 Furbies with like the robotic eyes, 2 McDonald's Furbies from 2 different eras, and I have 1 vintage Furby from like the food line. I'll show a picture of him because he's very dear to me. Maybe we should add some blue into this since I'm wearing a blue top. I think I'm very much a collector at heart, as stated with my Pokemon collection, but I also collect, if you can see in the back, I have a lot of blind box figures. I have quite a few anime figures. I have 3 Miku figures. I also collect a lot of Kirby figures because Kirby is, I'd say, my favourite Nintendo character. He comes over all of the Pokemon, Zelda, Pikmin, whatever. Kirby is my ultimate fave. This is not looking good, bro. I'm a bit lost on where I'm meant to go from here. I started YouTube about a year ago, February of 2025, and I started it at first because I wanted something to do. I was not very happy with my life. I was quite miserable. I'd just been cheated on, and it kind of flipped my life upside down because I had been in that relationship for so long that I didn't really know anything otherwise. And so I started YouTube as something to focus on and kind of help me find myself, since so much of me had been lost to that relationship. And then as I think it was after my first video, I thought, like, this is something I'd love to be able to do properly. Ever since then, I've been trying to work towards being a better content creator. I'm not going to say that I'm proud of any of my videos so far. I feel like a lot of my stuff has just been off the top of my head ideas that I've just kind of done and posted. Nothing has really been planned out. I mean, like right now I'm literally doing drag makeup and oversharing as a video. I recently bought a camera because up until about 2 months ago I was filming all of my content on my phone and my iPad, which is something I feel like everyone's done at some point in their life. When I was a kid, I used to film YouTube videos and upload them, and they're really bad. They're kind of hidden from the world for now because they're very cringe. So I guess you could say I've always had the want to be some sort of creator. This side looks better than this one. I feel like I'm just at a point in my life where I'm very lost still. And I feel like YouTube is where I want to take myself. I just need to find a way to get there properly and get out of there. Going in with some glitter now. Maybe I should just use my finger for this. Oh god. I have a lot of video ideas. I'm gonna charge my camera for a bit and then I will be back. We're back. So yeah, I really do hope that I get better at content and that I get better at being myself on camera and hopefully get at least a little bit of an audience. Maybe, please. Maybe. Just a little bit. Oh my god, it's peeling so much, it's disgusting. Am I giving Trixie Mattel yet? Well, we're about to do eyelashes. I've never put lashes on before in my life, so this is gonna be a test for all of us. Oh my god, this is so tedious. Oh god. I squeezed too much. Oh no. And then what? I blow on it. Okay, I think that the first one should maybe be ready. I'm not sure. Oh god. Oh, this is so difficult. Oh my god. How do I keep the front down? Oh, that's not right. Ah! Hello, sunshine. Oh, let's do the other one. How do people do this every freaking day? Am I pretty now? Wow. That's gorgeous. I think maybe I should do some mascara on the bottom lashes. Oh, am I pretty now? I feel like this is a good example of why I'm a guy. People are often very confused. Let's do lips now. People are often very confused by me. Should I do some really dramatic lips? Due to the fact that I have long hair and wear very revealing clothing while also identifying as a guy, and I understand that that can be very confusing for people, so I'd like to set the record straight here. I identify as a guy because I am a guy. I'm a boy. I've always known that I've been a boy, and when I was younger I presented as such very heavily. If you imagine an 11-year-old or a 10-year-old, you're thinking Justin Bieber trim, like Primark clothes, crossbody bag and such, and that's how I used to present myself. I had a Justin Bieber trim and I wore a lot of Adidas and such. Like I said, I was not a popular kid. I used to get made fun of for being a trans man. As you grow older, it goes from being light-hearted, getting like picked, or not light-hearted, but getting picked on, to violence. And there has been a multitude of time where people have either been violent or threatened violence on me because of who I am. And so I've gotten to a point where instead of feeling more comfortable in my own skin by presenting masculine, I feel more comfortable presenting feminine because I'm not afraid of people anymore. I'm still afraid of people in the sense of violence against women, but oh my god, I look a tramp. But I'm no longer afraid of the more extreme violence that I've been threatened with because of my transness. I'm so sorry that my bangs are so greasy now. I didn't realise that would happen. And that is why I present feminine, because I'm afraid of being myself a lot of the time. And that's not to say that I'm uncomfortable with myself like this. I see it in a manner of, if a man can dress feminine and wear makeup and still be seen as a man, I should be able to do the same myself, just even though I am a trans man. Because at the end of the day, trans man or not, I'm a man. Anyway, the makeup's done, so it's time for a montage. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.